Hi, I'm Rick Rosenberg, and today I'm going to introduce you to an exciting new wireless product called Curb Alarm that mounts to the underside of the front of your car and prevents damage from banging into parking lot bumpers. Here's the Curb Alarm package. Let's see what's inside. First, we have the use instructions, which tell you on a daily basis how to use the system. Secondly, we have the installation instructions. It's a very simple process to install. Third, we have a power cable which powers the receiving unit that mounts inside the car. So this just fits in a standard cigarette lighter, and this can be mounted, the receiving unit can be mounted anywhere inside the car. We'll go over that later. And then up underneath the front of the car, you're going to have the transmitting unit in conjunction with the curb detector arm. These two work together to sense curbs and prevent damage to your car before it happens. And lastly, we have a couple of mounting screws. Again, I mentioned it's very simple to mount, and now we'll go ahead and do a full installation. Now let's talk about the tools needed to perform the installation. Today we're going to use a right angle drill. We chose not to put the car up on jack stands. Had we wanted to use or needed to use a conventional drill, you'll notice again this is a right hand drill. If we used a conventional drill, they're longer and you would need to put your car up on jack stands. Or a third option, very simple, would be to take it to a local mechanic, and in about 5 minutes he can install the system. Okay, so if you're going to do your own installation, you start out with either a regular drill and jack stands and get the car up in the air a little bit, or in our case, as I mentioned, we're going to go ahead and use a right angle drill. Okay, very simple tools. We need a tape measure, standard tape measure, a number 1 Phillips head screwdriver, need a knife to cut the curb detector arm when we complete the process. We need a number 2 Phillips head bit for our drill and a 1/8 inch drill bit. Now let's get started with the installation. The first step in the installation is to install the transmitting unit underneath the front of the car. Okay, it's very simple, but there are a few precautions you need to take as far as the location and the distance to the ground. Okay, first, you're going to want to make sure that you mount it as far forward as you can on the car. Secondly, we want to make sure that we have 6.5 inches clear from the bottom of the transmitting unit to the ground. And also this little tab here, which the curb detector arm mounts into, this wants to be facing forward, okay, on the front of the transmitting unit, not like this to the rear. So make sure that that's on the right side and forward, as I've got it held in my hand here, and then that's what the curb detector arm will mount to. Now this, in a minute we're going to go into the car, and it's very simple. It's shipped with double-sided foam tape, so you can stick this to the underside of your bumper. You can relocate it if you don't like where it is. Once you're happy, then you just drill 2 1/8 inch holes and insert these mounting screws, followed by installing the curb detector arm and trimming it to length, and then you're done with the transmitting unit. Now we're going to install the transmitter unit underneath the car. I've removed the protective film from the double-sided tape, so it's sticky and ready to go. But before I install this underneath the car, I just want to put this little tiny screw that goes in and holds the curb detector arm in place. I'm just going to start that, just finger start it in the hole there at the front. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and just stick this up underneath the car at the location I've determined to be the best, and I can always move this if I need to. So I've now got it stuck into place. Now I'm going to install my 1/8 inch drill bit. Drill 2 1/8 inch holes in the housing. There's one. There's two. Now I'm going to install my number 2 Phillips head in the drill. Now I'm going to go ahead and just put those screws in, the holes I just drilled. Just snug them up. They don't need to be overly tight. You don't want to strip the plastic. Okay, now we're going to install the curb detector arm. Now we're going to measure in preparation of trimming the curb detector arm to the proper length. So what we want to do is measure to the bottom of the transmitter unit, as you can see I'm doing here. It's right about 7 7/8, okay, from the ground up to the bottom of the transmitter unit. So I'm going to add 1/2 of an inch to that, measure the distance, add 1/2 inch, so I was 7 7/8, so I'm 8 3/8 overall, and then we subtract 4 inches from that, which takes me to 4 3/8. So I want to trim my curb detector arm to 4 3/8 inches. Let me go through that one more time. We're going to measure from the road to the bottom of the transmitter unit, in this case 7 7/8. Then I'm going to add 1/2 inch to that, and then subtract 4 inches, and that gives you the length that the curb detector arm should be trimmed to. So now I'm going to go ahead and trim the curb detector arm, insert it in the hole, tighten the screw, and the process will be complete. Okay, now I've trimmed the curb detector arm to 4 3/8, as I mentioned. Now you simply insert it into the transmitter unit. Take the number 1 screwdriver, tighten down the screw to hold the detector arm in place. And now the transmitter installation is complete. We'll go inside the car and install the receiving unit, and that will complete the installation. Okay, now I'm locating the receiving unit inside the car compartment, and I've already removed the back of the double-sided tape, so it's ready to be stuck into place. Okay, in this case the cigarette lighter's right here on this car, and again this cable's long enough so that you can locate the receiving unit in numerous places within the car, but again in this case it's right here. So we're just going to stick this, just a nice firm push to the side of the car bulkhead here, and basically that completes the installation. Now we're going to perform a simple test to make sure the system's working fine. I have an associate at the front of the car, and he's going to depress the curb detector arm, which will simulate banging into a curb. So let's go ahead and depress the arm. And we can see that the system is functioning properly, so now we're protected against curb damage. Please visit our website if you have any questions, www.curbalarm.net. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you.